Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a best of 5 here Sunday series between soO and Serral from Katowice 2019. I don't think I've ever cast a best of 5 or a best of 7 between two Zergs, but these are the top 2 best Zergs on planet Earth at this time, so I'm going to cast it. Okay, so in the top left-hand corner of Port Alexander for game number 1 is the red Zerg player. His name is soO. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue Zerg player with the war chest skin, it is Serral. All right, man, soO versus Serral in some highest of high levels ZVZ action for you from Katowice 2019. I believe somebody brought this to my attention as it was being played live. I caught a little bit of it, but not the whole thing, and one of my subscribers said, please cast the series. Please cast at least one of these games, because this is some of the best ZVZ I have ever seen, so that's why we are here, is for some of the best ZVZ we have ever seen. Alright, man, where are we at with this? Anybody doing anything crazy? Not really, man. It's kind of a mirror match. Both players going for that hatch first, the hatch gas pool. Pool for Serral's a little bit later than soO's, but not enough to make a difference at all in this matchup. A lot of Baneling stuff in the early stages, roaches in the mid stage, and then if we're very lucky, we'll get to the late stage, which includes Hydra Lurker, sometimes Ultralisks, sometimes Broodlords, sometimes Infestor. Late game ZVZ is a lot of fun to cast and a lot of fun to watch, but most ZVZs do not get there. I kind of want Blizzard to balance ZVZ, so late game ZVZ is just a little bit more common, because I don't know. I just feel like late game ZVZ is my favorite mirror matchup late game of all time, at least in StarCraft 2. I have yet to find a ZVZ in Brood War that went to late game. All of them are under 10 minutes. It's just like Ling pressure, and if the other person gets Mutalisks, then the other person gets Hydra, and Mutalisk battles, blah, 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 and everything just kind of comes to a head around 7 minutes. And one person loses and one person wins. Anyway, if you don't watch my Brood War videos, give them a chance. I know the game is 20 years old at this point, but the StarCraft remastered client and the graphics update is very excellent, in my opinion. I do them 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'm thinking about doing a best of 5 Brood War series for the next Sunday series, and I don't know, just preparing you for that. If you hate Brood War or think you hate Brood War, I don't know, just give it a chance. Alright, so a little bit of Ling pressure here from Serral, a little bit of Ling defense out of soO as well. Both players going for a Baneling nest. There's going to be some Ling Baneling stuff here, whether that's going to be for aggression or just for defense. That's the exact same build, you guys. Look at this. Their Baneling nests are in the walls. They both have their third bases at the same time. This is as a mirror matchup as a mirror matchup is going to get. We're 3 minutes into this thing, and nobody's changed anything. Hey, that's 10 Lings from Serral, though. That screams aggression. 12 Lings from Serral. Meanwhile, soO is droning up. soO is getting a handful of Zerglings. His speed is almost done. He's going to have to defend a bit of a Ling flood with Baneling support out of Serral very quickly here. I'm not sure if he knows this is coming. This is why you generally have Overlords kind of scouting the front door of your opponent, especially in ZVZ, to see what they're up to. soO has some Lings moving out. There is not an Overlord. It's kind of an Overlord position right here. So soO's going for the pressure, but Serral's going to be just fine. He's going to have more Lings than soO has, and unless he takes a really bad Baneling hit, which is entirely possible because it's ZVZ, or maybe it's not possible because it's Serral. I think Serral's going to be in a just fine position here. Man, really droning up hard. What are we at? 38 to 36 workers. soO has 2 workers more than Serral does, and that could be all the difference in a mirror matchup. There's just a couple more workers here. Ling's cruising on in, running on out. The Baneling is present, and a couple Banelings trying to focus it down. They do end up getting it. That's a trade. That is a fantastic trade. 2 Lings for 1 Baneling is exactly what Serral wants to be doing here. There are just Ling battles all across the map right now. It's kind of insane. Yup, Scouting Ling does get in here. For Serral, he does see the lack of a second gas. He sees the lack of a lair. He sees the lack of a spine or a spire. I mean, he's gonna. That really good scout there from him. Organizing, there's nothing much going on but roaches. Roaches and more roaches. Both players going for roaches. Again, this mirror matchup is pretty darn mirrory here in the early stages. I can tell you that much. All right, so there's your lair. So soO did get that thing started after the Ling left. I think that was pretty good timing. Some Lings cruising on in from soO, trying to get something done. But there's a wall, and there are defensive Lings, and there are defensive Banelings. You're just not doing anything with that at all. He's trying to find some damage. But resources lost are around 100 for each player. Nobody's really lost anything to this stage. That's what the first 5 minutes of ZVZ at the high level is. It's just not much lost, really. The Baneling control here is insane from both of these players. I mean, we did see that one Baneling get killed by a couple Lings. soO lost that one. But overall, not a major problem. Both players do have all their gases on the way here. soO's a little bit later than Serral's. Tons and tons of gas. Is that all the extractors? Well, all the extractors here for soO at least. He's got 2, 4, 6. Whereas Serral's kind of keeping one untapped inside his main for some reason. I'm not sure entirely why. Anyway, Lings are cruising on out. Got 10 roaches on the way from Serral. There are 4 roaches here from soO. Ooh, and he is going Spire. So soO checking out the Spire here inside the main base. I don't believe that's been scouted. Wait, where is it? Oh, it did get scouted. Serral scouted the Spire. What a huge scout. Out of Serral. That's exactly what you want to see in a ZVZ. Scouting when your opponent goes Spire, so you can just kill him with roaches. Serral's going for a Nidus, you guys. Nidus Canal, Nidus Network on the way. Ling battles over here. Who's going to win? It looks like Serral is going to win and trying to trade with some of these Banelings. Does not get the one. Great control there from soO, keeping it alive. But yeah, man, it's going to be a Nidus Roach here from Serral. I just think this wins. I think this wins versus what soO is going for here. It's 14 to 23 roaches. Serral is going to go ahead and throw up, well, he's going to throw up a Nidus at the front door. Baneling's trying to hit it down, but this thing has 5 armor when it's coming up, you guys, which means I don't think it can die before. Yeah, man, the Lings are not going to kill it at all. Coming on in, Roach versus Roach battle. Army supply 78 to 56. Serral coming in before the Mutas can get anything done, before they even start making Mutalisks. And suddenly we're in a ton of trouble. Both players have the exact same upgrade, so nobody has the upgrade advantage right now. So sheer numbers are going to win the day here. A couple roaches coming in, start killing some of the workers. Defensive roaches here inside the main base for soO. And I think Serral has game number 1. That is 20 drones killed by Serral during this attack. It's 57 to 43 workers. I mean, this is just a shellacking for soO right here. So many roaches are out. 86, 90 to 60 army supply. And again, when the upgrades are the same, army supply is everything, and especially in a ZVZ, especially when both players are largely roaches, and that's your good game. Serral ends up winning game number 1. And again, I just think that was soO going for the Spire. Serral recognizing he has a bit of a window here to get in there, have more roaches than soO does, reinforcing with the Niduses inside the main base. At the front here, another one actually had erupted just recently too. And yeah, man, that was, wow, that was just Serral killing it. 23 roaches lost, 22 roaches lost for Serral, but in the end, it's 57 to 42 workers. In the end, it's 28 to 22 for Serral in the roach count, and it's just not enough, man. soO did not have enough to come back from that, and as a result, he's out in game number 1. So Serral looking fancy here in this ZVZ so far, but again, it's a best of 5. It's far from over. We'll come back with game 2 in just a bit. It's new Repugnancy. It's going to be, again, a ZVZ. No, game number 2 between Serral and soO. Top right-hand corner, Serral. Bottom left-hand corner, soO. All right, so this is a pretty wide natural to wall off here on Repugnancy. Well, new Repugnancy. Not to be confused with old Repugnancy, the latter edition. And, I don't know, just kind of like the green. I kind of like the plants. Kind of like this little doodad right here. Maybe an abandoned air conditioner? These rocks just to open up additional attack paths. And this statue of a Marine saluting in the very, very middle. Is that a salute? His hand is a little bit too high for a salute. Maybe he's just shielding his eyes from the sun, looking for Mutalisks on the horizon. Okay, then. All right, hatch first from both Serral and soO. Nobody trying to go pull first here in this matchup. You can do that. You can do that, you guys, to catch your opponent a little bit off guard. Maybe you can force them to cancel their hatchery. But against these two players, I kind of feel like they know how to respond to that. So that's why we're going hatch first these 2 games. Well, first 2 games anyway. And yeah, so this is a 5-game series, if that was not very clear. And just, you know, slow overlord scouting, no big deal. No need to drone scout here in ZBZ, says Serral and soO. No hope for a proxy hatchery in ZVZ, but I kind of wish that was kind of the meta. A little bit, right? Just a little bit of a risk of a proxy hatchery. Where would you put it? Maybe like right here? Like get a pull down real fast. Throw your hatch down right here so your pull's up faster. Make a queen, throw down some spines, like try to knock down this. It sounds really silly now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. Some really incredible ZVZ player should be able to come up with something that's viable. I mean, you can do it against Terran and Protoss just because they don't expand quite as fast. They usually don't go Command Center first or Nexus first. They can, and that would shut down your proxy hatch dreams, but throwing up a hatch inside their natural base is a really fun thing to do. I've done it in the past. It's worked pretty well. Terran players around the Diamond 2, Diamond 3 level, Diamond 1 level start figuring out the way to really shut that down is just wall off your top of your ramp and get a tank. And then no matter what's going on down there inside the natural, you're going to be just fine. So smart Terran players know what they're doing there. Alright, so what's going on in the production tab? Speed on the way from Serral. Is soO not getting speed? He not getting speed, guys. This is interesting. This is interesting out of soO. Maybe he needs to mix it up. Maybe he feels like he has to mix it up a little bit as that burning Zergling corpse is burning on the creep. Overlord, hey, you just got in the way of our burning. We were watching the fire. It's fine. And soO's going for a lair. Holy crap, dude. That is a very fast lair. That is a 3-minute lair where Serral is going for the third hatch here. Walling off, man. This really feels like a 2-base roach. Maybe like a burrow roach kind of a play with that lair in the mix here. Maybe some safety roaches going for Mutalisk. But Serral knows things. Serral knows what's going on. He knows there's not a third base, I believe, at this point. Does he not? He poked in. He poked in with Overlord, and then he poked out. So I think he knows there's not one at the time that he put his up at the very least. Some Lings are cruising out. It's a good number of Lings. It's not overcommitting on Lings. It's just enough to try to get something done on the outside of the map. And check for that third base. Come into the natural. Try to see if you can knock down maybe a spawning pool or an evolution chamber. Or there's usually not a spawning pool here, but a roach warren. But yeah, no, not with 3 queens here, and not with the buildings that are at this front wall. These are beefy buildings. There's nothing really to focus down. And he checks for the third, and there's not a third. So these Lings that Serral made are effectively useless. And soO's up 36 to 30 workers. This is a trap that I've fallen into myself, you guys. I make a bunch of Lings to go for aggression. My opponent has walled off already. I didn't quite see it coming. I wasn't aware that was going on. And suddenly I have a ton of Zerglings that are doing nothing for me. And my opponent is droning hard behind it. Yeah, man. Serral's trying to drone to catch up, which he has. He's managed to do so. He's 36 to 37. But for the time being there, soO had a bit of a time when he was ahead. He is making roaches. This could just be a Nidus, right? This could be the lair is for the Nidus network. Going for Glial Reconstitution. He's not going for Burrow Tunneling Claws or anything yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Why did he go for a lair so fast? I mean, this build is totally viable without the lair. It's gotta be Nidus, doesn't it? He has an Overlord, an Overseer. Actually kind of cruising into position here. Serral's going for a lair of his own, which is going to be pretty useful at the time. I mean, he's up 44 to 37 workers. Serral is on 3 bases. He's saturating his third base quite nicely. He's chasing Overlords away with Queens. Glial Reconstitution. soO, what's your plan? You're killing me, man. What are you doing here? He's up in roach count, 19 to 7. Is it just time to go? Do you just 2-base roach this thing and go? Maybe you do. He's got speed roaches. Missile attack level 1 is almost done for soO. It's already done for Serral. Roach count is 19 to 7. But guess who's making 13 roaches? Yeah, Serral is. So he's going to be fine. That's why you scout. That's why you see what's coming here. I think Serral's going to be okay here. I really do. I don't know what the lair was for. I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe just for Overseers. Not, well, yeah. Yeah, in case there's Burrow Roach. But yeah, Serral's got enough roaches to defend here. Army supply is incredibly even. Serral's on 3 bases, which means he has more larva production and the ability to get more income than soO has. I mean, sure, free roach is free roach. He kills one of them. It is kind of the dancing around here. It's just too much. The queen support means you can transfuse. There's a couple of Ravagers here. But I just really don't think that soO has what it takes to win this battle right now. They both have the +1 attack. soO is working on +2, which is going to help. Serral's getting some Lings to assist. Expanding behind this is soO right now, but he's just going to be behind in general. Worker count, 43 to 38. Serral has the lead. soO's going to try to get something done here at the third base, but again, I just don't know that he has enough. Corrosive Vials getting dodged pretty well. Reinforcing roaches are coming in from Serral. Defender's advantage, a big deal here right now. And yeah, just dodge the Vials. That +2 for soO is going to kick in here pretty shortly, and I think that might be enough to get something done. But so far, he's threatening, but not really doing much. The concave out of Serral is fantastic. Look at him getting on top here. Serral kind of being a little bit aggressive, maybe too aggressive, but focusing down the wounded roaches pretty effectively here. Serral so far. 9 roaches on the way from Serral. That +2 by soO is coming in, but it's so slow. It's got to feel indeterminately slow for him right now. Queens fighting, that's the thing. Serral has the ability to use Queens to transfuse and for extra DPS, where soO doesn't have that ability. He does have the Ravagers, but so far, Serral has kind of felt like roaches are going to do they're going to do the deal. They don't have speed, which is why we're fighting on creep. His Glitter Reconstitution is almost done. soO continuing to make Ravagers here. Overseer cruising on in to see what's going on. Oh, does Contaminate. Oh, Contaminate's on the Glitter Reconstitution, halting that production of that upgrade just a little bit here. Army Supply 79 to 73. Serral has the lead. He's actually down in Worker Supply here. soO's been really hitting that drone count hard. And that +2 is not done yet. I'm not sure why soO is taking this fight, to be honest with you. His +1 is not kicked in. I felt like if he could have waited for another 10 seconds, he probably would have had it ready to go. But yeah, it's not done. Speed for Serral is complete. He's just not worried about getting that +2 upgrade. He hasn't even started it yet. And now soO has the upgrade. Army Supply 65 to 62. Serral has the lead there. And Worker Supply still leading for soO. He's fully saturated that third, where Serral has not been able to do it for the last little bit. Serral is working on 10 roaches at a time, which is exciting stuff. Overseer scouting on in, and obviously there's not a Spire on the way because soO has been devoting so much to roaches. He really hasn't had time to squeeze in a Spire or anything like it. But Serral's going Nidus again, which they have proposed actually reducing the armor on an emerging Nidus from 5 to 3. And it's not really for Protoss or Terran. They can take down an emerging Nidus if they see it pretty easily. It's more Zerg. Lings and Queens have a hard time taking down a Nidus just because that 5 armor negates so much of the damage they're trying to do. It's really, again, armor is best against small units. Is that a move command? Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he just move command there and then lose enough that he tapped out? Look at this. Pause camera for Serral.
Our forces are under attack.
So he moves out. Cool, cool. He knows that soO's army is here. Goes back. He dodges the Corrosive Vials like a boss. Nothing hits him there. He picks off a free roach. Army supply is even. soO has a really big worker lead. I mean, 11 drones at this stage of the game is amazing. And again, the upgrade advantage matters too. He does some stuff here. Dodges the Vials again. Comes back down. I'm so confused by this. This is it. He's not looking. He's not looking. He moved commands into those. All right, man. He moved commands in. Suddenly, it is, what is it, 33 to 28 on the roach count. Army supply 97 to 79 in favor of soO. Where the heck? Is that the 5 Ravagers? Is that really that big of a difference in supply? I guess it is. Dang. That is a crazy ending to a ZVZ. Serral had some plans, man. He was throwing down a Nidus over here. I don't think that even got scouted, did it?
Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, I know. You guys are like, we've seen this, Falcon, move on. I know. He had some really good stuff going on here. And then he just isn't paying attention. He moves commands his roaches. Dang, that's amazing. That is the most ridiculous ending to a professional ZVZ I've ever seen. And Serral, too. Serral's just like, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I move commanded and lost a bunch of stuff. And let's go try again in game number 3. Yeah, I mean, Serral lost 64 roaches in that game. That is so many dead roaches compared to 33 lost by soO. Resources lost 5,800 to 3,800, about what you would expect. Wow. All right, man. Good job, soO. Good job just keeping up with what Serral's trying to do there, pressuring that third for a good long time. That was awesome. Droning his third base really hard behind it was fantastic, too. Up to 56 workers at the 9-minute mark is amazing. And then just getting that upgrade, that +2 missile attack, was a really, really big deal that Serral just didn't bother to go for. I don't know what's going on with Serral, but that's the end of game 2. Let's go to game 3. We will be right back. Going to find ourselves on Year 0, the ladder edition for game number 3, known mostly for the fact that Amon is watching over us on this map. Top left-hand corner, we're going to have Serral. Top right-hand corner, we're going to have soO. All right, man. Serral, get your head in the game here. For those of you who feel like Serral is unbeatable, I have some news for you. I have posted a couple of Serral losses on my channel in the last few weeks. If you haven't seen them and still feel like Serral is unbeatable, just go back and watch every single Serral game that I have cast, and you will be surprised. All right, man. Overlord scouting here on Year 0. I love the particle effects. Particle effects on this map. Whoa! Oh, right. It's based on vision. I always forget this. On maps, it's entirely based on the vision of the units. Like, if you're here, that spins. Remember on Abyssal Reef, when the fish would swim around, if there was something looking at it, one of the units is actually viably, like, staring at it. It would actually swim around, but until then, they would just be frozen in their pools of water. Anyway, just hatching it again here. Hatch, gas, pool. Why do anything else in ZVZ if you're playing against somebody of the caliber of Serral or soO? If you're unfamiliar with soO, I don't cast a lot of him on the channel, mostly because he's a Korean, and he participates in GSL events, and he participates in IEM events, and the region lock means the Koreans can't play in WCS events except for BlizzCon, which means that when IEM is up, and stuff like, what else have we been doing here? Home Story Cup is up, I can cast players like this, but when it's just WCS events releasing their replays all the time, we don't get soO around. But soO has, I want to say, 7 or 8 second place finishes in major tournaments in his career. It's insane. It is insane, the streak that is. To be that consistently great and never getting over the hump. It makes me feel sad, but at the same time, you're elite, man. You're really an elite player. You'll be remembered as such. But if you never get that one title, is that something you can really be proud of? Don't know. It really depends on people's individual psyche, I'd have to assume. Anyway, Queen's on the way. Speed on the way. Not skipping speed this time. So I imagine we'll see some Baneling action in the early stages of this game here on Year 0. The ladder edition. Lings moving on out for Serral. soO has a drone going for a very quick third. And you know what Serral does too. The timing here is going to be within second. Yep. Within like a second of each other there. That's as close as your thirds are ever going to get. Even if you try to match those up with somebody you're like playing against them, had a Discord chat up or something. Anyway, speaking of Discord, there's a Discord server available. There's a link in the description. It's for Falcon Paladin fans, whether Brood War or StarCraft 2. Come hang out with us, man. We have a good time. We have a meme channel. We have a sign-up channel for the monthly tournament, Fire's Falcon Paladin monthly circuit, which is a lot of fun. Come hang out in the Discord. You can talk to me. I'm there pretty much all the time I'm awake. I can't remember the last time somebody like wanted to talk to me on Discord and I was awake and just didn't get to them for a while. I'm pretty available. Discord app on the phone is pretty nice that way. So come check it out. Baneling Nest, just finishing up for both of these players here again at the front door. Nothing to worry about here, just helping to wall off in case there's a huge Ling flood coming. Both players' speed finishes at the same time. soO thought he had a chance to kill some of these Lings, but no. There are 0 losses in this game so far. There are little Ling battles all over the place, and the control by these players is just insane. Still nothing lost. Serral going in for the scout. See what he can see, but I don't think they're getting in. Definitely not, but still, none of the Lings die. That's so nuts to me. I would have lost both of those Lings, for sure. So the control at this stage of the game, APM well over 400. The Banelings are just kind of waddling around as you can't have speed this early, but it would be cool if you could, because fast banelings would make this a little bit more interesting, I think. soO, man, going for the aggression a tiny bit here. He does have 11 lings and a couple banelings, couple more coming on in. These lings going for the scout. Can't get in. Cannot get in, but they do scout what's at the front here, which is going to be an evolution chamber and a roach war. And no big surprise there at all. Linging into the third base, checking for the saturation. And I think they're just going to leave banelings up here. soO, that's interesting. Not really offensive, not really defensive. More just hoping that Serral runs lings into these, I suppose. I don't know. Serral again trying to scout. Maybe could have gotten through, but no, didn't actually do that in the end. Speaking of my horrible Australian accent, there's an Australian comic who works entirely through a puppet he calls Randy. If you search Randy, like Randy stand-up, Randy comedian on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of his stuff. It's amazing. It's big hits. No, Serral, that's not what you want to do at all. He didn't have the vision. He didn't quite know what was there. And suddenly a bunch of lings have died. That's amazing. Man, I don't know what is going on with Serral here. He is just making mistakes I don't normally see him make. All right, man. So ling's cruising around. Oh, soO gets the scout in. The scouting ling is here. Sees the lair, sees the one gas, sees the no spire, sees no hydro. Let's get in. Okay, we're good. Baneling waddling in, gets a decent hit on lings. A couple drones go down, but nothing too major. From Serral, he's taking some hits, but he's okay otherwise. soO has an army of 26, 34 to 10. Now, how does they have that advantage? It's going to be... That's 34 army supply for soO. What is going on? Oh, 6 roaches. There are some in the production tab. I forget about that. He's going for a big swell of roaches right now. Anyway, if you just search Randy buys a bookshelf off Gumtree. That, I think, is what a lot of people got into a couple weeks ago now. And it's an amazing stand-up routine. Again, done by a puppet. So this guy has elite level puppeteering skills and elite level just comedic stand-up timing and execution skills, and you should check it out. Randy's great. All right, man. Overseer, a changeling comes in. Gets picked off by the queen immediately, though. No, not allowed. Army supply 54 to 40. soO has a ginormous lead in roaches here. He's going for that +1 attack. +1 attack for Serral is already done. A couple banelings do get some stuff done over here, but not a huge deal. And dropper lords. Serral is making dropper lords here with his upgrade advantage and his roaches. Actually, not much of an advantage now. Yeah, as soO's +1 finished, he's going for a 4th base at the same time that Serral is up here. Overseer scouting just been really consistent here from Serral. That is something he's really great at doing in ZVZ. Just knowing what his opponent is up to for the most part here. So soO pushing out with a bit of an army supply lead, 78 to 64. And Serral going for some dropper banelings. Some defensive Ravagers morphing in right now. soO coming across the map. He feels like he has a pretty good chance to get something done here. Serral setting up in positions where soO has to come into a concave. Really good position on this map for the defender. I don't know if Serral wants to go in there at all. I don't think he does. Even the tiniest of bits. But again, flying on in at this stage of the game is really hard to do because there are Overseers. Oops, free Overlord. And Overlords everywhere. I don't think he can do anything. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Man, that blue is harder to see on the map than red is, that's for sure. There's no way he gets this. Dude, soO, did you not see this guy? The queen's like, no! Oh, no, he had a thing. He had an opening there. What the heck, Serral? What is going on right now? These banelings... He just deliberated too much, is what he did. He thought he could get a bigger hit, but oh, then he loses the Overlord? I don't even know what to say right now, man. What was that? Serral, what was that? You gotta tell me. We gotta talk after this, okay? Okay. Anyway, we're maxed out. We're 8 minutes in. Maxed out on Roach Ravager. That's what you can do when nobody's being really aggressive. All that aggressive. And we're going to fight on 2 fronts here. Upgrades are... Serral has the lead on the upgrades. That +2 missile is done. And he's working on +1 carapace, where no, soO is not doing that. So the upgrade advantage is going to belong to Serral in this match. Roach Ravager fighting up here at Serral's 4th base. And Corrosive Vials are hitting on both sides right now. I don't know about this. I'm trying to see who's going to win this, and I can't really tell. Again, Serral has the upgrade advantage, and he has the concave, which is always a great thing. And soO's getting a ton of damage done down here at Serral's third. Baneling drops for Serral attempting to happen while all this is going on. The multitasking is insane right now. soO is getting cleaned up at the third base. Serral's able to take care of that. And then the Baneling drop, the Roach. Oh, Roach drop. This time around getting handled by the superior defending forces of soO. All right, all right. So 17 drones go down. soO gets 17 worker kills and is now up 64 to 52 army supply. Again, the upgrades do benefit Serral as we have that +1 carapace. It's still +2 missile attack for both of these players. Roach's Ravagers. Army supply does favor soO. It's not all here, though. In this position, Serral has more stuff. And as a result, soO has to pull back. He's trying to sneak around this bottom side to get stuff done at this base. He really wants to snipe this third. But Serral says, get out of my house. This is where I am mining. Leave me alone. soO splits off another group to go up to Serral's fourth, but there's soO there to meet them. Serral has his own units there, too. All right, man, I think we're at a bit of a stalemate here. Nobody's really going to be able to do too much damage at this point. I mean, sure, losing all of those drones for Serral was a problem, but he can replace them. Anytime you're left alone this long, you can make that happen. He's going for a Hive here inside the main base, and a Spire, the tech of choice from soO. Right there at the natural. A bit of an attack down here towards the third. Roach Ravagers kind of going back and forth. Both sides of the map here. This is really hard to control. I mean, if you've ever played StarCraft, you know what this is like. You're being attacked at two places at once. It's just really hard to handle. soO, I think, has enough to get in here and take down this fourth base if he wants to. But then reinforcements coming on in. Serral chasing these guys back home. soO definitely got the short end of the stick on this battle. Yeah, Serral got some more reinforcements in here, and Serral, with the upgrade advantage, is just going to be able to clean this out pretty well, as long as he dodges the corrosive vials, as he is doing exceptionally well at this stage of the game. Spire just about done for soO. Hydralisk then from Serral. So this is going to be a Hydra lurker play out of Serral. Roach versus Roach here inside soO's main base. And yeah, man, just get out of there. There's really nothing for you to do, Mr. Drop Lord. Mr. Dropper Lord. All right, so we're at 4 bases, 60 to 52 workers. Serral hasn't really been bothering to replace his worker count at this stage. I mean, I guess he is pretty happily just going for +3 missile attack, making additional roaches here. He's maxed out, so he can't actually fit any more workers, which means he has a bigger army supply, but just by a little bit. soO sneaking along the bottom side. Overlords scouting that very, very well. Oh, man. Serral could go for a pincer attack here, catch soO, surround him a little bit, and maybe win this thing, but he decides not to, and instead, soO coming on into the third base again, causing major problems for that drone count, taking down an extractor and then getting chased away. Ah, but he does get the fourth base. soO! Serral kind of abandons the fourth there to try to defend the third. Can't quite pull it off at all. A lot of drones end up going down there. Serral is making 16 roaches at a time. The corrosive vials are falling fast and furiously right now. Overlords scouting, trying to make sure they know what's going on here. soO has the Spire. He hasn't done anything with it. Serral has a Hydralisk Den. He hasn't done anything with it. I'd like to see him just make a handful of lurkers. They make a big difference here. Although with the Ravager count that soO is rolling with, Ravager's really good against lurkers, really good against anything that is stationary, and lurkers definitely fit that bill. So maybe that's not why he's not going for that yet. 5 mutas in production now for soO. Serral is not replacing his fourth. This is a problem for Serral, you guys. Okay, he's expanding down here. Just there's the cancel. Overlord taken down by corrosive vials. Resources lost here. 12,000 to 12,000. Pretty darn even, but Serral's inability to replace his fourth or take another fourth somewhere else is killing him right now. More mutas in production. We're going to have a total of 9 in just a second here. Serral is making some Hydras to deal with the mutas. It feels like at this stage you really need something else with the mutas, or with the Hydras rather, if you're going to do this. And Infestors can be a play. Yeah, Viper's good too. Serral is making some Vipers with that Infestation Pit tech, as he already does have the Hive, as previously mentioned. But man, Serral just now replanting his fourth. I feel like it's been a couple minutes since that thing died. And as a result, Serral just doesn't have the income compared to what soO is rolling with right now. Down here we can see that. 17 to 1,500 a minute. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but in a ZVZ, it's massively important. soO should really transfer some drones from this third base to the fourth. There's a bit of an imbalance there. Maybe that's going to hurt his income too. But yeah, Muta's just flying around, killing Overlords, trying to supply block Serral, but so far that's not really working out too well for them. But here's a free Overlord. Does this one supply block? The Serral, it does not. He has a extra supply here of Overlords. But here's the pincer move I was talking about. Serral from the left side. Serral from the bottom side here, too. Everybody attacking. Hydra's in the mix. Mutas from soO. Here to defend, trying to focus down the Hydralisks and then deal with the Ravagers. But, man, soO's army gets wiped out there. And there are enough Hydras, I think, to fight this Muta group. I'm not sure that soO wants to stand in here and fight this. And he does. He's fine. Never mind. Although, man, I don't know if these are fair trades. Losing Mutas for Hydras, resources lost. 20,000 for soO, 19,000 for Serral. I want to say that was not a good exchange for soO, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Man, these Mutas are just picking off Roaches, Ravagers, anything that is wounded here. The splash damage doing a ton of work. Serral making additional Hydras. His fourth base is back, but it has not much saturation here. Only 7 workers presently here at the moment here. And soO did a better job balancing his drone count, if you're worried about that sort of thing. So pretty darn even game number 3 here. 19,000 to 20,000 of resources lost, which is what you want to see. soO's up 181 with 138 supply, though. Somewhere Todd is saying, look at the supply. And it's an arm supply of 131 to 99. Holy crap, soO. This is amazing. The upgrades still favor Serral, though. By golly, they do. He's got +3 missile attack and +1 armor, whereas soO's on +2 missile attack and +1 armor. So once again, Serral's just managed to stay one step ahead of soO the entire way with the upgrades, which matters a whole lot. Sneaky attack, Muta's down here at the third base, and they do pick off a couple drones. I mean, the drones killed count here is 28 by soO and 2 by Serral. soO's just been able to hang on to his drones very, very well. He's been the aggressor for the most part, which helps a lot if you're trying to win a game. Serral is still down in supply, but he's making 9 Roaches, which is really, really useful. And again, he is going to have the Vipers to deal with the Mutas. If there are really, I mean, there's only 4 Mutas. I'm not sure you need that many to really deal with these guys. A handful of Hydras should be able to deal with it, would be my assumption. But yeah, man, Serral, just 43 drones, not really working on getting that up to 50 or anything along those lines. I really feel like he needs to get there. soO is taking a 5th in the bottom right-hand corner. Trying to corrosive bile down something that's flying and fast like Overlords are with speed, it's just so frustrating. It's an incredibly, incredibly frustrating exercise for sure. Mutas do get another Overlord there, and that does supply block Serral for the first time here. soO, that's a horrible engagement. Going up a ramp like that is just brutal. You don't want to do it. Serral with the Roach counterattack, though. He's feeling pretty good about this. Again, the upgrade advantage, the +3 attack on the Roaches is kind of a big deal. soO keeps trying to come up this ramp, and I just don't think it's going to work out for him. There's too many Roaches in the back that can't attack when you come up that ramp here. Serral, oh my gosh, he's going to get the Roach Warren. He gets the Roach Warren. He snipes it off. Decides to head on back home. And at this point, soO did make 13 Roaches in preparation for losing that. My goodness, he's in here at the 4th base, too. He's, the Roaches, where are they going? Take down the spine. There you go. Take down the defensive Roaches. Take down some of these drones if you can. Yeah, man, the upgrades are helping, but the Muta DPS is helping as well. Serral thinking about moving on out, but soO says, no, why don't you engage with me here instead? Corrosive Biles do get some nice hits on those Hydras, which is really, really bad news for them Hydralisks. But man, 13 Roaches in production by Serral. He recognizes it's going to be hard for soO to replace them, although his replacement Roach Warren is just about done. Where is it? Why did I click? I clicked on the Roach Warren. It took me here, but it's not here. It's not here. Is it here? I don't know. Huge engagement up here at Serral's 4th. Once again, just dodging back. Corrosive Biles being, actually connecting there a little bit. Where in the name of all that is holy is this Roach Warren? Oh, it is in the main. Wait, was I in the main? I don't know where I am anymore, you guys. I'm lost. Please send help. All right, man. Corrosive Biles firing all over the place. I am shocked we're at minute 18, and we're still just basically on Roach Ravager. Usually somebody's gone into Lurker at this point, but it was Mutalisks and some Hydras to deal with that. And these Mutas, they're not doing a whole ton of damage, but it's splash, and it bounces, and it helps in these Roach versus Roach battles. Especially if nothing can shoot at them. It's a really nice extra bit of DPS you can get in your army composition. Serral coming on up to soO's 4th. The response looks like it's a little bit late here, engaging right on in. Serral trying to get stuff done. Nice Corrosive Biles going down. Some drones for soO actually going down for the first time in here. Using Blinding Cloud against soO's army. Really nice stuff here from Serral. And suddenly, He is up 134 to 131 army supply. He has the upgrade advantage. soO's making 30 roaches at a time, you guys. 30 roaches at a time. That is insane to me. He's working on +2 ground carapace. He's really not bothering with +3 missile attack right now. Overseer comes in to see if soO's pursuing, and he is. He's being aggressive. He's still continuing to cruise across this map. And we just have different roach groups cruising everywhere. Creep spread, fairly non-existent. I wonder if both these players subscribe to the theory that, yeah, creep spread helps you with vision, but it also gives your opponent speed in a ZVZ. So maybe it's not something you want. You don't want to help them with that, you know? Serral did sneak a roach group down here to soO's 5th base. He's going to wipe this one out for sure. But guess what? soO has a lot of forces up here at Serral's 3rd. His army's going the wrong way. soO is everywhere right now. soO's attacking at 2 separate fronts. The hatch goes down, losing the 3rd base. Serral's in a problem there. He does manage to rebuff the attack at the 4th, but man, Serral also takes down soO's 5th. What an insane ZVZ this has been so far. soO's up 185 to 161 supply. The problem is Serral's bank is not nearly as big as soO's was. Army supply 125 to 108 right now. soO really attacking on into this. I'm not sure this is what he wants to do, but he needs to win this fight on the other end because his roaches are killing it. Serral's roaches are killing it on the other end right now. God, I think Serral has won this game just because these guys are doing a lot of work. Serral deals with the attack on the other side of the map right now. A Contaminate toss down on Serral's 4th because why not at this stage? 18 drones killed during that attack by Serral. It's 28 to 28 workers, and you know what? Maybe we just reset. Maybe we're just both on 4 bases right now. Maybe the army supply is not that different. 74 to 65. Serral has a lead. Woo! Crucibles coming on down. That's hilarious stuff right there. soO actually making stuff. Serral too mineral starved to really make anything at this stage. Oversaturating his 4th. His 3rd base is it worth replanting? I mean, yeah, kind of, but also no. It's like that meme. Well, yes, but actually no. It's a good one. I like that meme a lot. All right. Serral continuing to just dance about here. soO. Oh, Serral does expand down here. He tried that earlier and then canceled it as he was worried that soO would scout it. I'm not sure that soO would have scouted it. Having this base would have helped Serral immensely throughout this game, but it's not over yet, is the thing. Armor supply 91 to 82. That was some decent corrosive bile attempts there, but Serral too quick on the draw for that one. All right, man. soO dancing on over. The blinding clouds are a problem. If you try to engage anywhere for any length of time, you're going to get blinding clouded. The Vipers are really, really good at this. And, oh, what I want to see. What I want to see now is Serral to surround soO's army, throw blinding cloud in the middle, and wreck it. That would be an incredible, incredible display of blinding cloud and tactics. But hard to do, right? soO let himself get surrounded once. I'm not sure he's going to do it again in this game anyway. But yeah, both players just trading volleys here, trading corrosive biles. They get an overseer. soO loses one there. And I think Serral's okay with this. I think Serral's like, I can expand behind this. We want to play the corrosive bile dance for the next 5 minutes. I'm cool with that. Amazing. All right, man. Serral does manage to get his 5th down rather. And saturate it with exactly 1 drone at this stage. Army supply 103 to 99. This game is still too close to call. I don't know who's going to come out on top here. I have no idea whatsoever. I mean, soO's been the aggressor, which benefits him quite a bit, but the upgrade advantage belongs to Serral. He's got that +3. Oh, you know what? No, because soO got that +2 armor, so I think we're even at this stage. 2-2 versus 3-1. Dang, Serral got a roach across the map to take down soO's 5th again. I mean, he's going to try. I don't know that 1 roach can actually kill a hatchery like that, but oh, hang on. Decent attempt there. No. soO found it. soO found your sneaky base. This is a huge moment. Serral cannot lose this. Did he burrow his drone? He did. It's dead, though, because what? Or were those larvae that died? I thought there was a drone down here. It is not burrowed. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, soO just wrecking what's left of Serral's third. Defensive roaches are going to save soO's fourth base down here, fifth base rather, down here in the bottom right. I mean, some decent abducts there on some Ravagers, but not really anything worth doing. Abducts are great against lurkers. That is a worthy target of that spell, but Ravagers, I just don't see it right now. I really, really don't. Man, these players are playing this so cautiously. Nice Overlord hit. Taking down one of Serral's Overlords. 149 to 140 supply. Resources lost 36,000 for Serral, 43 for soO. That is a lot more resources lost for soO, you guys. It is a big number. Overseer just scouting around. I mean, there's really nowhere you can hide here. If you're soO, where are you going to attack next? Just because you have so much stuff following you from place to place to place. Both players pretty mineral starved. soO is really gas starved right now. He needs this base to be up and running. He needs these extractors to be fully helping there too. Bad engagement for Serral. Don't like that one at all. Big corrosive biles on nothing at all. Again, more big corrosive biles. Getting some decent hits on both sides. Some roaches actually dying there. And, oh, attack of roaches by Serral down here at soO's base. Wow. soO is down to 16 workers. soO going for it. He's feeling desperate, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to get that concave on top of Serral's army. The blinding cloud is being dodged pretty ably by soO here. And Serral doing his best to micro up this ramp so he has a better position versus soO's army. Wow, the hatch goes down. The drones go down. There are 15 workers for soO. 26 for Serral. soO's going to take down Serral's fourth, though. Holy crap, this is a scrappy game right now. Wow, the hatchery goes down. soO needed that so bad. Drones are fleeing for their lives. I was going to say running, but they don't really run, do they? Serral taking out more of soO's dwindling drone count. Down to 15. 15 to 11. Serral has a lead, but is it really worth bragging about if you only have 15, 13 workers yourself? I don't know that it is right now. Army supply, 82 to 80. Worker supply, 12 to 11 at this stage. No, Serral's little hit squad is getting chased across the map right now. There are some reinforcements that maybe can get something done. But wow, these players are starving. For a 26-minute game, there is no bank for either of these players. Both players are under 100 gas, which makes it really hard to make roaches and Ravagers to replace the ones that die. Nice positioning by Serral there, left side and top side. Corrosive Biles, blinding cloud in the middle. Somehow soO is avoiding it, but I think that's gonna be it. I don't know that soO can break out of this and win this game, but he's winning the south side of that engagement. What? soO somehow making that happen right there. 22 to 20 army supply. Serral fighting with his drones to chase this army away. soO is long distance mining from his fifth base that he's trying to replant in the bottom right now. Income by Serral is nothing. He's long distance mining. This is all he has. This is all he has. This is all that soO has, is his long distance mining right now. This might be the most amazingly down-to-the-wire ZVZ I have ever seen in my entire life. And ever cast in my entire life, too. Hydra's fighting. Hydra's without support, though, not doing very well. The drone's helping to fight here against the roaches. The roach micro by Serral is intense, but he's going to lose that one, and he's going to lose this one. The drones by Serral are fighting because they know that's all they can really do to try to help win this thing. Serral loses his last roach, and soO wins it in 27 minutes and 29 seconds. And again, down to the wire. Down to the wire, ZVZ. That was insane. This little battle right here with the drones fighting. 2 roaches versus 3 roaches. The drones fighting here too from Serral. But the micro by soO is too good. He ends up killing a... Wow. He just killed 2 roaches of Serral and didn't lose a single one of his. Again, the upgrades were even. soO lost more resources over the course of the game than Serral did. That was incredible. That was an amazing, mind-blowingly great ZVZ. Oh. That was amazing. I think I'm broken. I think that game broke me. I don't even... Really? At the 27-minute mark, Serral is down at the point where he's defending and attacking with drones in the middle of the map and trying to win that battle. What is the 6 army that Serral has? It is his Vipers. It's his Vipers. That was it. He was done. He had no roaches left. Oh, incredible. Amazing. Amazing, amazing stuff there. 256 roaches died for Serral. soO lost 336 roaches and 47 ravagers and 10 mutas and 2 hatcheries. Serral lost 4 hatcheries. That was a big deal. Right, he lost his 4th, didn't replace it for a while. He lost his 3rd a couple times. This base in the bottom left, he was never really allowed to have it for any length of time at all. And that was a huge deal. And soO wins the scrappiest ZVZ I've seen in a very, very long time. All right, cool. Well, I mean, that's it for game 3. We still have at least one more game to go here. So stick with it. Don't go anywhere, and you'll be right back with Falcon. Serral's back is against the wall here. One more loss, and he's done here at Katowice. Going to be on Cyber Forest for game number 4. Top left-hand corner, Serral. Bottom right-hand corner, soO. Wow. I am still blown away by that game number 3. I just can't remember the last time that I saw a game coming down to using your workers versus the opposing army in the middle of the map. And both players had as little army as both Serral and soO did. Is that enough to earn this whole thing an epic tag? I know I've been using epic tags a lot lately, you guys, but I feel like every single one is deserved. There is some incredible StarCraft playing going on right now. And I'm so glad to be able to cast it. So glad to be part of it. Whew. You ever wanted to watch me cast high-level StarCraft 2 live? I'm doing that over at Africa, you guys. There's a link in the description for Laugh-In Games Africa TV channel. I cast Africa World. Africa World with players such as Maru, such as Gumio, such as... Who else have we had there? Who's been there recently? Keen's been around, but I mean, Stats has been there too. This is just the highest level StarCraft in the entire world that you can do. Africa's trying to get in on this. They've got the high-level Korean players doing it. And I'm casting it live with Laugh-In Games. So it's every other week, sometimes Friday, some days Saturday. But it's going to be this 22nd. But just watch me on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/FalconPaladin, twitter.com/FalconPaladin for announcements about that. That is when you will see when it is. And come check it out. Come watch me cast some live elite level StarCraft 2. For those of you who are like, Falcon just casts on YouTube. He probably just doesn't actually use the casts where he screws up. Well, first of all, have you ever seen me screw up here? Of course you have. I do it all the time. And second of all, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time to recast stuff that I screw up in. So no, my live casting is exactly the same as my YouTube casting, with the exception that my live casting is generally with a co-caster, and I can't just have this stream of consciousness thing going that I do right now, for example. I have to let other people get a word in edgewise, and I do. So it's a different style, but it's definitely still me. Anywho. Yeah, man, we're just going hatch gas pool. Really, nothing has changed in the first 4 games of this series. The exact same build every time. Oh, and a quick plug for the store. There's the Falcon Paladin store. It's at Shopify now. We moved it. But we've got jackets, we've got hats, we've got mugs and t-shirts. If there's anything you'd like to see us sell for the Falcon Paladin store, hit me up at falconpaladin@gmail.com or talk to us on Discord. We'd be glad to add it to the inventory. If there's something you're like, man, I would totally buy a Falcon Paladin Slinky if they had one, then let us know what we can do. soO is walling off his natural. This is a really narrow ramp to wall off here on Cyber Forest, whereas Serral is going for a quick third. Again, Serral's back is against the wall right now, so he needs to get something done. Ooh, a Ling Scout's pretty good. That's not too bad. He sees the lair. He doesn't get into the main, but he does see the lair at the natural, which is a fantastic scout by him. So he knows what we're looking at here. It's probably going to be roaches off of 2 bases. Obviously, that evolution chamber on the way with an upgrade is that missile attack. And the roach warren. Did that get scouted too? It did get scouted too. So yeah, Serral knows exactly what's coming here. In the early stages, he decides to go for a lair himself. He's got his own roach warren coming up, and he has a 3rd base, which is going to help it economically quite a bit here. So I love Serral's response to this. He's like, all right, I'll just do what you're doing, go a little bit slower with it, but have a third base behind it for extra larva production and extra income, and I think we'll be just fine. This is a pretty short rush distance, I want to say. When all is said and done here between these third bases, as soO does take a third again later than Serral's is, that's going to hurt him economically. I think soO has a bit of a window to get something done. But I don't know. At the same time, I feel like Serral is doing fantastically here. He did get supply blocked for about half a second. Oops, supply blocked again by losing that Overlord, which is not good. But both players going for a +1 missile attack. Glial Reconstitution on the way from soO. And I imagine Serral will go for that at some point, although he did skip it in game 2. For a while and didn't have speed while he was defending for quite some time. So I guess if you're defending, you don't need Glial Reconstitution quite as much as you do if you are attacking. You're going to put those resources elsewhere into upgrades, into additional roaches perhaps, if that's what you're into. But yeah, man, we are just macroing up, just armying up right now. This might be one of the games where nobody really attacks for the first 5 or 6 minutes and we have maxed out armies at 7, which is always very fun to have maxed out armies at 7 and 8 minutes. Again, I just want to thank whosever idea it was to allow players to start with 12 workers at the start of the game. It really has a snowball effect in allowing games to get started faster and get max armies sooner, which I think is good. It's good for the viewing experience and really helps it as an esport, I think. All right, man, what are we looking at? It's going to be roach count 17 versus 12. soO has the lead there. He has the upgrade advantage. Nope, never mind. He doesn't anymore. No upgrade advantage for him at this stage. Overseer scouting on in, trying to see, is there a Spire follow-up behind this? Is there anything I need to worry about? No, there's not. Where are the roaches going home? soO. I don't know what he's doing, man. I'm not sure why he's pulling back, but he might recognize that he doesn't have an upgrade advantage. And Serral's been on 3 bases longer. soO has more workers somehow. He's just been droning better. 54 to 47 at this stage of the game. So he's got the better economy, which really bodes well for him. Army supply is suddenly really big for Serral. It's 27 to 18 roaches. So if Serral pushes out, 1, soO will see it because he has the Overseer scouting here. And 2, I think soO will be able to respond appropriately. That's kind of how you play Zerg, man. You have an army, enough to deal with that comes your way, and you scout. So when the army really starts coming, then you start making even more army to defend it. But if they're not coming, drone your face off. But right now, 9 roaches at a time. That +2 missile attack is on the way. It's way ahead of Serral's here, too. So Serral, dancing a bit. He gets on the enemy creep, uses that speed bonus. Gets some stuff done. His Glial Reconstitution was late, but it really didn't matter. We haven't had a major engagement at all in this stage of the game. 1 roach is killed. Is that our first blood? It might be first blood. Maybe a couple lings have died, but I think that's the first roach to die. Let's check it real quick. Yep. First roach to die. That was him. He got stuck in the rocks, was behind everybody else, and just he was the unlucky one, unfortunately. I don't know how I feel about the mech units. The mech Ravagers especially look weird. I don't like how glowy they are, though. It's kind of nice. All right, so really passive play so far from these players, allowing us to get up to that, 164 army supply at 7 minutes. Roaches, Ravagers be on a 3-base economy with 63 and 53 workers, respectively. Serral has saturated his third, whereas soO has not. This kind of feels like a replay of game number 2, just with the roles reversed. soO's coming on in with his almost done +2 attack. He's going to have that upgrade advantage for just a couple minutes here. I don't know if he wants to go down there, because that's, again, we have the concave. The concave is set up and ready to rock. Another concave here. soO, he's going to engage anyway, though, but look at Serral. Wow, just making it happen. soO has the upgrade advantage with that +2 missile attack. Is it going to be enough here? It's actually pushing Serral back a little bit. The concave is amazing, but everybody is firing for soO, so it doesn't matter nearly as much. Actually, some roaches are stuck back here. Now they're moving up to the front. More roaches continuing to cruise on in right now. This is a situation of pure insanity right now. And it looks like Serral is going to be able to hold somehow, some way. Defender's advantage managed to kick in there. Yeah, man, he's got more roaches coming in than soO's able to get across the map in time. And Serral is going to be able to hold here. soO is pushing back, pulling back. I really feel like that was a +2 timing attack that he really needed to make work there. And as a result, Serral is up in army supply and a worker supply and has an even upgrade advantage versus soO's army here. So, man, so far, so good out of Serral. He needed this win, and so far it looks like he is in a position to get there. Contaminate getting tossed down on Serral's third, stopping queen production. as well as egg production. Larva production, too. So, I mean, it really just stops a lot of stuff. It's a really nice contamination target, actually. If we're ever going to use Contaminate, which not many people do, but, I mean, a Zerg Hatch is... There are worse targets for it. Look at all the Overlords just kind of cruising around the map here in different positions. It looks like Serrals are moving, where soO mostly has static Overlords. He doesn't care about moving them. He just wants to see what's in the general area. Serral's getting a 4th at the same time that soO is. Pretty darn even Steven on that one. And yeah, we're just trying to get maxed out on Roach Ravager at this stage. Serral's going for that +1 Ground Carapace, which he's done before, to pretty good effect. Yeah, this is pretty appropriate music for this. I feel like sometimes the music isn't appropriate for this, but this time it is. It's just, you know, ramping up music here. It's just intense. You gotta watch out for what's going on. You gotta watch out or you're gonna lose Overlords to Corrosive Biles. Overseers of Corrosive Biles, possibly too. I do love StarCraft music though. Blizzard, if there's one thing they've consistently nailed over the years, and they've nailed many things, but it's absolutely going to be music. That might be my #1 thing about Blizzard games consistently. All right, man. Tunneling Claws and Burrow on the way from Serral. So he's going Burrow Roach against soO's regular Roach Ravager army. That is a massive advantage because it allows you to heal up your Roaches faster than your opponent can heal up theirs. And if there's, I mean, there's detection, right? We've got Overseers for soO, 3 of them. He's got a pretty good ability to scout that, which, I don't know, feels like a gamble out of Serral. Great high ground position here from Serral, though. But guess what? soO snuck on over to Serral's 3rd, or 4th, rather. And actually chasing him away. Then Serral doing a bit of a chasing here. We're clashing in the middle of the map, too. It's just back and forth. Multiple position attacks here. And Overseer gets sniped from Serral. That was a huge hit. Killing Overseers is something he needs right now. His Burrow's almost done. His Burrow move is almost done. And he's shoving away soO at a couple different points of interest here. Although, now soO has reconstituted his army into a big one, and Serral is doing the same thing. Doing this on the fly is not easy, you guys. It's really, really hard to do, but there we go. Tunneling Claws, 4 seconds away from completion. And soO has a pretty nice upper hand here, killing some larvae. This is pretty amazing stuff right now. Corrosive Biles forcing soO away. He dodges the Biles quite ably here. Coming up with more reinforcements. And let's see if he actually ends up using this Burrow or not. I really haven't seen him try it at all. There are Overseers in that, well, with both armies right now. So the Overseers make that impossible. If you Burrow, you just die. You're not really helping with much with anything here. So Serral has the Burrow move. It should be used maybe for additional attacks across the map here. But hey, at some point here, Serral has decided he's going to win this engagement. He does have that +1 Ground Carapace. That's helping immensely. And there's the Burrow. And there's the regen. They did nerf the regen speed on Burrow to Roaches. It used to be insanely fast. Now it's okay. And that was mostly for ZVZ in situations like this. All right, man. Serral pushing 193 to 166 army supply, attacking up a ramp. He doesn't care about angles. He doesn't care about high ground. He's basically Anakin Skywalker right now, except it might actually end up working out for him. Still continuing to push on up this ramp. I don't know how I feel about this. But army supply is 59-54. Serral has a bit of a lead. He does send some Roaches over to kill some of the drones here at soO's 4th base while just making nothing but Roaches back home. Yeah, man, soO's losing some income right now. Serral does have that 59-49 worker lead, and my goodness gracious, he has the 10 worker lead. He has the upgrade advantage. He's working on +2 Ground Carapace too. Serral coming on in. Oh, is that an... basically, he can do whatever he wants here now. As soO kind of conceded the high ground a little bit. Nice splits by Serral, getting shots off on drones, getting shots off on that hatch, and winning engagements versus soO's defending Roaches and Ravagers at the same time. 20 drones have been killed, and soO is down to 32 workers, and that's your good game. Serral ends up winning game #4. Fantastic display there from Serral. I just feel like he had the lead almost from the earliest stages of the game. soO went for that 2-base Roach Ravager thing. Serral said, I'll go 3-base Roach Ravager. How's that sound? Get ahead of you on worker count, get ahead of you on upgrades, and then just win. Use the Burrow to regen my Roaches just a little bit, but close game. Really, really close game. This was not a shellacking by any stretch. Resources lost here 20-14. soO, again, lost more in that game 3 that he won. So resources loss is not exactly the end-all be-all, but still can definitely matter. soO lost 170 roaches to 125 of Serral's. I got to imagine that +1 ground carapace helped immensely in a lot of those battles, but great job there by Serral keeping his bases alive. Didn't lose any hatches this time. Hardly. Did he lose any drones? No drones lost. If you can lose 0 drones and kill 23 of your opponents, you're going to have a good time. It's going to be a good experience. All right, cool. So that is it for that game. Let's go ahead and check out game number 5, because we're there, ladies and gentlemen. We are at game number 5. It's going to be insane. It's going to be an ace match between 2 of the best Zerg players on planet Earth, probably the best 2. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back, I promise. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on Kairos Junction, the ladder edition for game number 5 between Serral and soO. Woo! Got to the ace match. When was the last time we had a best of 5 series go to game 5, you guys? I want to say 2 months ago. We've had some good 4-game series and a 3-0 series in there, but I don't feel like we've gotten to a game 5 for a while, so this is going to be a treat. All right, man, top left-hand corner is going to be Serral. Bottom right-hand corner is going to be soO. Same colors as before. Serral blue, soO red. I want to see somebody go pool first. Can we just see a pool first real quick? I mean, no, based on what we're seeing here, it's definitely going to be a hatch first play, but it would be fun. It'd be fun. I mean, I guess, I don't know, Scarlet likes to do that. Scarlet likes to 12 pool her opponents and come up and chew on their hatcheries for a while. I don't know if it really ever puts you ahead against somebody as good as these players are. It can be really annoying to deal with, but they know exactly how to keep it alive. You're going to take a ton of damage on your hatch, but you'll keep it there. And if you keep it alive, you win. That's kind of how that works. Anyway, let's see. What else can we talk about here? There is the podcast. Do you ever listen to the Falcon Paladin Hour? Or do you want more Falcon in your life? Do you want Falcon in a purely audio medium? Well, just search Falcon Paladin Hour in your podcast app. You will find it on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the heck, Samsung pod apps there are. There's an official Google podcast that we exist on. Anyway, it's a good time. Somicron and I talk about everything from StarCraft to movies, TV shows, books, all sorts of things nerdish. Talked about Captain Marvel. We're planning on reviewing Infinity War Part 2 when that comes out. But yeah, if you want to listen to me talk to an Australian about things that probably interest you as well, search Falcon Paladin on your podcast app, whatever device you have, and on the internet. And you will find it, no problem. It's everywhere, you guys. Super easy to be there. All right, man, where are we? Where are we with this? It's really the same thing we've seen in the first 4 games. No differences whatsoever, which is always very fun when there are no differences at all in the openings from either player in 5 games in a row. Let me tell you, it's my favorite thing as a caster is the sameness. But no, not the sameness. We're doing just fine. 2 queens. Serral is getting speed. soO has not started his speed yet. Again, this is a fairly narrow area to wall off. He might just be waiting for the creep to get up there and throw down his Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber and call it good. But after the way he got beat in that last game, I don't think he wants to try the same thing again. Serral's got some Lings cruising on down here. There's only 4 of them, but they're coming around a sneaky way. There is no Baneling Nest, so I don't think it's going to be aggression. They're just here for scouting more than anything else. The Queens and the Lings are going to try to stop this, and nice block, actually. Good body block there, but you can't kill all of them. 4 Lings are really hard to stop from getting inside your main. They see the lair timing, just perfectly scout exactly when it starts. That was fantastic. Sees no double gas. And no Roach Warren either. That's interesting. So Roach Warren now. So here's your wall. So Creep Tumor, Roach Warren, Evolution Chamber. Everything is fine here from soO. Serral, again, the 3rd base early, and getting his own Roach Warren and Evolution Chamber. This looks like a carbon copy of game number 4, y'all. And I don't know if that's good for soO. I really am not convinced that is a great thing for soO here. Serral once again going for a lair. He's skipping lair. He's not going lair yet. I don't think you can skip it entirely, but definitely not worrying about it at this stage. And yeah, man, if you see your opponent doing this stuff off a 2 base, you don't have to worry about a Baneling all-in or a big Roach attack, at least for some time. It's going to be slower. It's going to be more ponderous out of soO. It's going to be stronger, but it's not going to hit for a couple of minutes. So Serral can just afford to get his 3rd base and not have to worry about it at all. for some time being. That's why he has the Overlords in position to know if roaches are coming across the map to kill his stuff. He's now getting a lair himself, getting +1 missile attack. It looks like soO is a little bit ahead on that race to get +1 missile, and roaches are on the way from soO. He's begun that roach production at 4, with glial reconstitution being researched right now too. Serral's got some lings hammering away at Serral's third, or soO's third rather. At his own third, that'd be hilarious. Wow, is he actually going to force a cancel here? Wow, he did! He forced a cancel on soO's third. That is such a blow. That is such a blow to soO's economy right now. Holy crap, Serral. Those lings paid for themselves and then some, for sure. All right, so he's making his own roaches to defend against whatever attacks soO is going for here. soO has to decide whether he stays home to defend his third or he pushes out across the map. Oh, the lings. One ling gets in for the scout. That's exactly what he needed. He sees no spire. He sees no second gas. I mean, I love that death animation when the lings catch on fire and just skid. It's so, so good. Lings on fire is one of my favorite things that's new to StarCraft. It's not a big thing, but by golly, I like it anyway. Overseer scouting on in, trying to do the same thing the lings did on the other side of the map here. Not much to see, really. Serral's doing what he's done in every game so far. Roaches, +1 attack. Maybe some Ravagers. Likes to get that third base up. Not going for a Spire. Not really going for a lot of Banelings either. Just, man, roaches. So the problem with ZVZ, guys, is that roaches are really good, and the only answer for roaches is more roaches. With the exception of lurkers, right? If you got a bunch of lurkers in a choke like this and roaches try to get in there, they will die. Splash damage versus armored. Is there another attack in the game that does splash damage and does bonus versus armored targets? I don't think there is. Everything that's bonus to armored, like Immortal attack or Stalker attack, is all single attack. Marauder, single attack. I think that's it. I think the only splash damage bonus to armored in the entire game is Lurker, which is why, again, they're good against roaches. But if your opponent has a lot of Ravagers, then you have to kind of juggle your Lurkers and bad things happen, which I think is why we haven't seen any in this particular matchup here today. I mean, definitely has happened in the past. I have cast some really long ZVZs where there is that particular setup, Hydra Lurker, but not today. Contaminate slowing down the armor upgrade for Serral's ground units. soO got his third base back real quick, you guys, and it's been harassed too. But Serral is up 59 to 55 workers. He's got 80 to 67 army supply, which is nuts. Serral's contaminated upgrade is really hurting because soO is getting it this time. For the first time, he's getting it early, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice for that for sure. Overseer, contaminates the +2 missile attack that soO's working on. So a bit of a tit for tat there. Overlord speed is done for both players, I feel like. And yeah, man, soO just catching up in that army supply, 102 to 103. That's where we are right now. Is pretty darn even in that army supply number. Worker supply, 59 to 55. So Serral's up in both counts, but not too far behind here is soO. soO is looking just fine. Nobody has a major advantage at the stage. I really feel like Serral should be in a better position than he is, but he's just not quite there. He's not maxed out. He doesn't have better upgrades. He hasn't been able to kill another base. Maybe trying to set up for a 4th base at this location. We'll keep an eye on that. Kind of watch, but we're watching the Dance of the Roaches. Who's that guy who does all the, like, Earth narration? David Attenbaugh, something like that. Is it David Randy? I don't know. Whatever. It's that guy. Be interesting to see him, like, narrate some StarCraft matches like this, where the roaches are majestically patrolling back and forth as a 4th base comes up along the left side of the map. So Serral's 4th is earlier than soO's for sure. Great position here from Serral. soO does not like anything about that position and backs the heck on out of there, as he likes to do. Just, that's positioning, man. Roach Ravager battles is like 80% positioning. All right, man. Speaking of which right now, the upgrade advantage is favoring soO. He is suddenly getting a lot of hits on there. +2 attack and +1 ground carapace. soO has the lead. Serral's got some roaches inside soO's 3rd base, though, causing major problems to that drone count, but soO manages to get on into Serral's 3rd base and is causing major problems here, too. The thing is that Serral's army is in position to actually shut this down. Although, focusing down to that hatchery could end up killing it there if you wanted to. Meanwhile, the fourth base getting hit. Nope, actually coming on up here to fight against Serral's army. It's such intense action right now at Serral's third base. Corrosive Isles landing, hitting, landing, being dodged. Additional hits are hitting on Serral's third. It's slowly getting whittled down here. Serral's trying to attack on into this, but his upgrades are not there right now. And suddenly his army is getting wrecked. Reinforcements from soO are cruising on in. It is so close. Serral's got more roaches coming in at the same time. Ravagers and roaches are dying by what feels like the tens and the hundreds right now. Although I definitely know that is not the case. The reinforcing roaches do manage to come in and chase Serral away from his own third base, which is still alive somehow. Somehow, mind you, still alive with exactly 96 hit points. This is an intense Roach Ravager battle. Everything. Contaminate getting tossed down. Just kill it. Just kill. Why do you contaminate the hatch? He was going to kill it there anyway, so he does end up getting the hatchery. The fourth base is almost dead here too. Drones getting focused down. I'm not sure why they're here in the first place. And that is your good game, soO! soO is your winner in 10 minutes and 13 seconds there in game number 5. Wow. That final battle felt like it went on forever, even though it was only for just a couple of minutes there. And yeah, I mean, the state of the game here is 37 to 44 workers. soO has the lead. 79 to 58 army supply. soO has the lead. The upgrade advantage favors him too. Serral's +2 missile attack was just not close enough. And yeah, that was it. You lost your third base. Your fourth base is going to die. Sure, you killed, or sure, soO rather never went for a fourth base. But his 3 bases are happily humming right now. He lost some drones. I mean, he did. There was a nice roach attack from Serral down here, but killed some drones, but not enough. As it turns out, 13 drones killed by Serral, but lost 24. Lost that hatch. Was going to lose the other hatch. Resources lost here. 11,000 for Serral and 8,000 for soO. So, crikey good Mikey. Ladies and gentlemen, this opens the path up for soO to actually move on in Katowice and sends Serral home. What an amazing turn of events here. After Serral did not drop a single series for like 340 consecutive days in 2018, he loses a series to Innovation in the qualifying rounds. He loses in the playoffs to soO in a 5-game series. And Serral looks like he's human. I think for the first time in a while, he looks like somebody who can absolutely lose on the biggest stage. Which, I don't know if I saw it coming this early. It happens. It totally happens. But I don't know if I expected to see it this soon. But, I mean, hats off to soO here. He played about as well as you can in a ZVZ against somebody as terrifying as Serral is. Amazing. Just amazing play from him. The positioning was great. He knew when to attack. He knew when to defend. Even in the games that he lost, I feel like he played pretty well. He just kind of fell behind in the upgrade advantage, and that's really all that matters sometimes in these mirror matchups. But yeah, great series all the way around. Looking forward to casting more soO as part of this, as part of me casting the Katowice. But wow. All right, that right there is gonna be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a ZVZ Best of 5 series won by soO. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.